2 kilometers straight down through solid limestone in water at 2 degrees Celsius, and darkness so complete that a human being has never actually seen the bottom of it. Something has been evolving in the dark for longer than we have been a species. Krubera Cave is the deepest known cave on Earth. Fewer than 100 people have ever reached its bottom. More people have flown to the International Space Station. And every expedition that comes back from Krubera has brought up something scientists were not fully prepared for. Some of what follows was collected, cataloged, and published in peer-reviewed journals. Some of it was announced once by qualified explorers who saw it with their own eyes and has never been independently confirmed since. And one of these 7 still does not have an actual bottom. Here are 7 of them, starting with the ones we understand and ending with the ones we do not. The cave is called Krubera Cave. It sits inside the Arabica Massif in the western Caucasus Mountains, in the breakaway Georgian Republic of Abkhazia, at an entrance elevation of 2,256 meters above sea level. From that entrance, the passage drops for 2,197 vertical meters, 7,208 feet, into the mountain. Water temperatures at the bottom sit at 2 degrees Celsius. Ambient air holds around 7. The passages are narrow, the sumps are underwater and dark, and once a caver goes below 700 meters, ascending back to the surface can take 4 days. There is no communication with the outside world. Rescue, in any conventional sense, is not really an option. Here's what everyone who has gone down there has come back with. 7. The eyeless creature nobody knew was down there. In the summer of 2010, biologists on the Ibero-Russian CaveX expedition to Krubera reached a station 1,980 meters below the entrance. Until that summer, the deepest terrestrial animal ever recorded on Earth was an insect at around 920 meters in a cave in Mexico. Then they collected Plutomurus ortobalaganensis, wingless, long-antennaed, completely eyeless, a primitive springtail that feeds on fungus and organic debris trickling down from the surface far above. It more than doubled the depth record. It is still the deepest land animal known to science, living in permanent darkness on food that fell in by accident in a place light has never reached and never will. 6. The pseudoscorpion nobody had really seen since 1940. A pseudoscorpion is a tiny relative of the scorpion, roughly the size of a grain of rice. It has the pincer-tipped front legs, but no tail, no sting, and no venom. In 1940, a Soviet zoologist named Lapshov formally described a cave-adapted pseudoscorpion he called Neobecium burstini from a different cave in the Caucasus. Then it more or less disappeared from the scientific literature for 6 decades. In the 2000s, researchers finally recovered the species inside Krubera itself at extreme depth. It is blind. It is unpigmented, almost completely translucent, and it has evolved so far from its surface-living cousins that it barely resembles a pseudoscorpion at all. It has been down there, going about its business since long before anyone thought to go looking. Number 5. The beetle they have only ever caught 2 of. In 2014, 2 researchers from the universities of Aveiro and Alcalá, Ana Sofia Rebelera and Vicente Ortuno, published the formal description of a new species of blind cave beetle collected from Krubera. They named it Duvalius abyssimus, of the abyss. It was collected at 2,140 meters, deeper than any beetle species anywhere on Earth. Rebelera and Ortuno had exactly 2 specimens to work with, 1 male, 1 female. No expedition since has found another one. Whether the species is genuinely that rare or simply lives in a section of the cave that humans have not been able to reach in the 12 years since is a question expeditions have not been able to close. 4. The lake at 2,146 meters called the 2 Captains. In 2006, Ukrainian speleologists working their way down through the deepest known chamber of Krubera came across an underground lake at 2,146 meters. Water at 2 degrees Celsius. Air still, cold, completely dark. Following the Soviet-era tradition of naming remote geographic features after cultural landmarks, the team named it Diva Kapitana, the two captains, after a well-known Soviet novel about polar exploration. Beyond the far shore of that lake, the cave stops being air-filled. Every passage past two captains is completely underwater. To go any deeper into Krubera, cavers can no longer walk, they have to dive. 3. The dive at the bottom of the world. In August of 2007, a Ukrainian cave diver named Gennady Samokhin, born in Simferopol in Crimea, put on scuba gear at the far side of Diva Kapitana and descended into the terminal sump, the underwater passage beyond the lake, at the deepest known point of the cave. He went 46 meters below the water surface into a passage no human had ever seen, to a total depth of 2,191 meters below the entrance. That set a world record for cave diving depth. 5 years later, in the summer of 2012, he went back. This time he descended 52 meters below the sump, extending the cave's known depth to 2,197 meters and setting a new world record. Both times, he was alone, in water at 2 degrees, in complete darkness, 2 kilometers of solid rock between him and the surface, and a 4-day ascent waiting for him if he made it back out. Cave divers describe Samokhin's terminal sump dive as one of the most technically difficult solo dives ever performed. He has not attempted it again. Number 2, the transparent fish nobody has seen again. In 2012, a team led by Israeli geologist Amos Frumkin from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem conducted an expedition into Krubera. When they came back, one of the members, Boaz Langford, of the Hebrew University Cave Research Center, described the trip's most striking discovery. He said the team had found a new species of transparent fish living in water at 2 degrees Celsius at a depth of 2,000 meters inside the cave. There is no other freshwater fish ever recorded at anything close to that depth in a cave anywhere in the world. The claim was made publicly in interviews with the science press at the time. It was never followed by a peer-reviewed species description. No subsequent expedition to Krubera has independently observed the same animal. It sits in the record the way Jacques Piccard's 1960 flatfish sits at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, an eyewitness account by qualified explorers in a place almost nobody else can reach that biology says probably should not be there. Number 1, the bottom nobody has actually reached. In 2024, a new survey of Krubera returned the world record for deepest cave back to it from its neighbor Veryovkina at a revised total depth of 2,224 meters, which means the previous figure everyone had been using for over a decade, 2,197 meters, was off by 27 meters. The cave was deeper than we thought. That prompts an uncomfortable question: how do we know the current number is right? Krubera has been under near continuous exploration since 1980. In that time, only 2 branches of the cave have been mapped in any detail, and even those are still being resurveyed and revised. Beyond Samokhin's terminal sump dive, the passage continues into water nobody has been in. The non-Kuybashevskaya branch, a completely separate arm of the cave, was pushed to 1,293 meters as a distinct system and has not been fully explored either. There is no strong reason to believe Krubera's true depth is what we currently have on paper. There are several reasons to believe it may be significantly more. 6 of the discoveries on this list have real explanations backed by real specimens. 2 have unresolved question marks that expeditions have not been able to close. The 7th is simpler than any of them. We do not know how deep this cave actually goes, and the only way to find out is for somebody to go further down inside it than any human being ever has. That is the shape of Krubera right now. A place small enough on a map to be forgotten by anyone not looking directly at it. Remote enough that traveling to the entrance is harder than most expeditions to the deep ocean. Dangerous enough that the people who go inside it accept, before they start, that if something goes wrong at the bottom, no one is coming for them. and full of things that quietly rewrite what we thought we knew about how deeply life can survive, how far into the Earth a natural passage can actually go, and how much of our own planet we have still never seen. 6 of the mysteries on this list have partial answers. 1 does not. The rest of Krubera is still down there, waiting for the next expedition to come back and tell us what else it has been hiding.